Hello, welcome to episode 3 of Undead Yarn. My name is Heidi, and you can find me at Ravelry and Plurk as Knitty Girl, and on Instagram and Twitter as Knitty Girl 1. And my shop name is undeadyarn.etsy.com. Although I also now have a new website, so you can look at that and it will take you to the podcast and to the yarn shop. And that is undeadyarn.com. Well, I'm going to start today off with talking about some of the yarns that I was not able to talk about last time because I got cut off. The first one I'm going to look at or show you is actually also a work in progress. I'm making some socks with my self-striping yarn, and this one is going to be called Every Day is Halloween. And it's this one came out more charcoal gray, but I'm planning for this to be black, and then the yellows and the oranges are the correct colors. So this is Every Day is Halloween, and that's in the shop now. Another one that I wanted to show that I didn't get to show last time is Mellifer, and I have Mellifer in fingering weight, and it's blacks and yellows. And I also have Mellifer in worsted weight. So those are available in the shop. And one of my favorite new ones that I have is called Gargoyle. And let me get a sample of that one. And Gargoyle is blues and purples and blacks. And this is Gargoyle. I also have a solid colorway that I came up with, and it's called Brains, because it's the color of brains, I think. And I have several of these in the shop. These are all in the vampire base, which is my fingering. And I have to tell you that my fingering right now is 420 yards, but the supplier has now changed the skein length to 410 yards. So after all of these that are in the shop now are gone, I won't have any more that are 420 yards. They'll go down to 410 yards. I am also going to look into some other suppliers to see if there's some other things I can do. And there was another yarn that I didn't talk about last time. It's another solid that I have that I really like. And it's a blue, and I'm calling it Jaws. This also you might be able to use for teal timber, which is something that the High Fiber Diet is doing to talk about awareness for ovarian cancer, which is something that a lot of women apparently don't realize that they have. For more information on that, I would listen to her podcast, or you can probably Google ovarian cancer. But I believe the color is blue, and I think it's this knit-along is going to be for the month of September, because I think she wanted, it's either August or September, but I think it's September because she said she wanted to have it before Pinktober, which is in October. So those are my new yarns that I have in the shop. Some of the things that I'm working on right now. Oh, I also have a new one that I didn't show you. It's called Witchy Poo, and it's blacks and fluorescent orange. And you can see that on the website. The things I wanted to show you are, the first thing is I finished my Nazar. And I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but it's a semicircular shawl. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry, and you could probably see it best if I hold it like this. When I put it on the normal way, you can't really see the shawl, so you can see what it looks like here, and I love it. It's a huge shawl. It's a 2-color shawl. You just switch colors every certain number that she tells you to switch, and it's very simple. It's all garter stitch and eyelets. So I love this shawl. This is the first time I made a shawl in cotton. And it's my first time knitting with linen, and I actually like it. It was very nice, but I will admit neither of the yarns I used were 100% linen. They were only partially linen. Another work in progress, I already showed you. I showed you my sock that I'm working on. And I started the summer shawlette. It's called the Summer Twilight Shawlette. And it's by Tasha Poe. And I'll show you what it's going to look like. This is a crochet project. This is what the project looks like. And I started it on my Little Red Riding Hood Ate the Big Bad Wolf colorway. And this is what I have so far. I think the yarn looks really pretty in crochet. I like it. I think I'm really going to like this one. And here's what my yarn looks like. So those are some of the things that I'm working on right now. I also finished part of my sock that I was working on last week, the Nasturtium socks. And I posted a picture of that on Instagram, so you can look at that. I'll show that when I'm finished with the whole thing, with both socks. I was knitting that with Goth Socks from Knit Picks. Oh, and my shawl that I'm crocheting is on a size H hook. And there was also the tank top I'm working on. I didn't make any progress, so I'm not going to show that this week. It's the same as it was last week. But I do have some spinning progress. And this is what I've spun so far lately. It's more of the fiber that I dyed myself. It's a pink, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to apply that with the other thing that I spun that I showed y'all before, with some other yarn that or fiber that I dyed that I've spun up. So I'm interested to see how those colors go together. I think it's going to work out pretty nice. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is that I am wearing a tank top that I made a while ago. It's called Latoya by the Barocco team. And it's a free pattern on Ravelry. I made it a while ago. You can see the front and the back. There's some ribbing in the back. And I modified this a lot. There were a couple of cables up here, a couple different cables, and they are asymmetrical. You can see the pattern on Ravelry. I used Barocco denim silk to knit it, and I don't really like the look of reverse stockinette, so I turned it inside out. When I seamed it together, I seamed it this way because I like stockinette better. I like the way it looks better. But it's kind of a neat top, and I've had it for a while, and it's actually washing well. It is hand wash, but it's washed very well, and it's stood up. I've had it for at least 4 years, maybe a little bit longer. And I'm also thinking that I'm probably going to go ahead and say that I'll be podcasting every other week. Last week I wanted to podcast, but our air conditioning went out. And it was really, really hot when it went out. It was 100 degrees, over 100 degrees both days that we didn't have air conditioning. So I wasn't able to podcast then. And in a few weeks I'm going to be going back to work. Since I work in the schools, I'm going to start being more busy. And I'm also, at this point, I'm waiting for more yarn to come in from my supplier. I don't have that yet. And like I said, the yardage on my skeins is going to change after that. But I am also going to look into some other suppliers and see if I can find some other bases to use, because I'd like to have something different from just the merino nylon. I do have a couple of things that are worsted and a couple of things that are DK. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue with those or not. Those really haven't been big sellers in the shop. I think it seems like most people want fingering, which I understand because I kind of like that too. At this point, I guess I've said most of what I wanted to say this week, except I didn't end up showing my enabling. I actually have a couple of things because it's been a couple of weeks. And the first thing I got was a silk hanky, and I haven't opened it up because I already know it's right here it's getting caught, that these are very, you have to be really careful with silk. This is a silk hanky, and it's from Cattail Knits, And here's her card. And she actually also has a podcast. She has a Knit Me Happy podcast. And it's really cute. She gave me a little stitch marker, too, that came with the silk hanky. So, I'm not sure if I'm going to knit straight from this or if I'm going to spin it. I have to think about that. If you guys have any suggestions, please put a comment on the YouTube site. Or you can message me on Ravelry and let me know what you think I should do with this, because I haven't used a silk hanky before. So that'll be interesting. And then I also got, from Fiber Knit Dye Works, yes, again, I got some self-striping yarn of hers, and it's called There's a Troll in the Dungeon. And I just love, these are some of my favorite colors. I really love golds and browns, and she also threw in a green, and I just think it's going to look great. I'm definitely going to make socks with this one. And then another person you've seen before, I bought some more yarn from Jinx Yarn. She's actually having a sale right now if you go to her shop. I think she's having a sale for the whole month of August, and the stuff is already discounted. You don't need a code. But this one is called Una, and it's in her organic merino base, which she's pretty much selling out of right now because she doesn't get this anymore. I guess the supplier stopped supplying the yarn, so this is something that if you want an organic merino, you should go get this now. And then the other thing that I bought was from Black Trillium Fibers, and this is 100% superwash merino and 365 yards. And the colorway, it says, I guess it's B35? I guess that's the name of the colorway, but I love it. It's got so many different colors in it. It has yellow and a green and red and purple, and it's just beautiful. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this one, but if it's 365 yards, I guess I might be making socks, but I can also make a small shawl with that. That'd be really nice. And that is actually the last thing I have to tell you, and what I'd like to say in closing is get busy living or get busy dying.